At the beginning of the movie, we watch the depressed protagonist. Blanche is asked if she has ever met such a person before, but she replies that she has never. The heroine remembers that it was her twin sister who wanted to go to the party, not herself. A few years ago, Blanche spends time with her mother and her twin sister. Rose argues with the heroine, trying to figure out which one of them was born earlier. After figuring it out, the sister does convince Blanche to go to a party with her. The heroine is slightly embarrassed by the fact that she is carelessly dressed. Rosa promises that they will find the perfect guy for her sister at the party. However, Blanche sits on the sidelines almost the whole time and only watches. Soon the heroine meets Gregoire, an old acquaintance. At first, Blanche addresses him only by his last name and apologizes for her teacher's reflex. Gregoire tells her that now he works in a bank, although he used to dream of becoming a pilot. The man says that he is the ideal that Rosa was talking about. Gregoire dances with the heroine, after which he takes her away with him. This is noticed by Rosa, flirting on the second floor with a guy. Blanche goes with the man to the guest bedroom, where they first kiss passionately and then remain alone. Waking up in the morning, the heroine sees Gregoire, who has prepared coffee for her. The man informs her that he has to go, and kissing Blanche says that they will see each other soon. Left alone, the heroine calls Rose. The girl advises not to pick up the phone immediately if Gregoire calls her. However, Blanche does not follow her sister's advice and soon finds herself again with a man in the same bed. Soon, a romantic relationship develops between them. Blanche tells her mother about everything, delighted that she is finally loved. Rose, however, does not consider such a relationship timely and healthy, especially after the recent breakup that the heroine has experienced. Soon Blanche is going to go together with a man to Paris. Before this, the heroine decides to make herself bangs, which Gregoire does not really like. Having learned about this, Blanche tries in every way to make it more inconspicuous. Gregoire notices this and says that everything suits the heroine. In Paris, the man tries to get to know Blanche as well as possible and behaves like an ideal man. Soon the heroine returns home and learns that she is pregnant. Blanche does not know what to do and how she should act, since very little time meets with a man. Gregoire is delighted with the news and says that he is looking forward to the arrival of the baby. Soon, the man proposes to Blanche and they arrange a wedding. However, this is somewhat overshadowed by the fact that Gregoire has to move to Metz for work. The family is worried about how Blanche will live away from the sea, but helps with the packing. Rose talks to Gregoire and asks him to make her sister happy. In response, the man asks the girl not to be selfish. Rose must let the heroine go and let her live her life. Leaving, Blanche is sad, but the man reminds her of the new happy life that awaits them. The heroine recalls that during the move and the birth of the child, she felt incredibly happy. The interlocutor specifies whether Blanche did not feel any trick in the man at that time. Shortly after the birth of the child, the heroine visits a restaurant with Gregoire. Blanche finds a job in a town nearby, to which the man reacts rather coldly. Soon, Gregoire's superior approaches their table and mentions that the man himself insisted on being transferred to Metz. Blanche wonders why her husband has tricked her into leaving her sister and mother. Gregoire offers to discuss this a little later. At home, the man admits that he really wanted to start from scratch, but was afraid that Blanche would not want to leave the family. That's why Gregoire lied, for which he is now ashamed. Blanche says she doesn't know if she can continue to trust a man. Gregoire jumps up and goes to get the phone to quit and go back to the sea. Blanche takes the phone away from the man and says that she is quite happy with him here and now. Gregoire immediately goes back to his uplifted mood and turns on some music to dance a little. Afterward, the man kisses Blanche, and it develops into something more. That night, Gregoire conceives his second child. A few more years pass. Together with her daughter Stella and son Arthur, the heroine continues to live in Metz. Blanche recalls that her husband began to often read her letters, standing behind her shoulder. The heroine works in a school and is constantly hyper-controlled. Gregoire wants to know what time each lesson ends and demands that after them Blanche must call him, as well as leave her friends so that their conversation is not overheard. The man more and more presses on the heroine and says that they do not need anyone else. Blanche hopes to see the family at Christmas. However, the husband refuses this idea. One day, the students organize a surprise for the heroine. Blanche asks her husband to take the children, which he agrees to do reluctantly. Before going to bed, Gregoire wants to play night games with the heroine. Blanche does not respond to caresses, and her husband begins to manipulate her. The heroine tries to charm Gregoire, but he behaves resentfully. The next day during the lesson, the man often calls Blanche, but the lady does not pick up the phone. Taking his wife home, Gregoire scares her by accelerating hard and turning off the headlights. Some time passes. Looking out the window, Blanche sees her sister in front of the house. Rose informs her that she has come to see her nephews and introduce the heroine to her boyfriend, Tony. The woman talks to Blanche in the kitchen. Rose admits that she is just crazy about her new boyfriend. The sister also asks if Blanche is doing well and if she is happily married. The next day, Rosa gives the heroine a gift and gives her car. Blanche recalls that it was from that day that everything went downhill. Gregoire became worried that the heroine would get into the car and leave him forever. The man began to demand much more attention. He follows Blanche during vacations and events. The heroine survives in harsh conditions where all her expenses, time, and activities are completely controlled. Blanche even notices that sometimes her husband follows her, but she does not admit it to anyone, feeling ashamed. One day, the heroine receives an alarming call and hurries home. Blanche finds the children safe and sound, after which she goes up to the bedroom. Gregoire tells that he accidentally listened to a program on the radio about sadists in marriage and recognized himself in them. The man begs Blanche not to leave him, as he will not stand it. Gregoire promises that he will change everything from now on. However, when Blanche remains silent, the man blames her for everything, believing that she is the one who allowed him to become a monster. After that, the heroine felt that she wanted to do something secret for herself. Blanche begins to communicate with a man named David, as she likes his understanding of literature and the world. The heroine deceives her spouse and refuses to meet him. While choosing an outfit for her date with David, Blanche is greatly startled when she thinks her husband has started following her again. The heroine packs her things to change and goes to the long-awaited meeting. Blanche sees the man at his house and agrees to take a little walk. David tells her that he is fond of archery and offers the heroine to try out this activity. Blanche agrees to a lesson from a man. David helps the heroine to aim and is impressed by her success. After hitting the target, Blanche kisses the man but immediately feels guilty. The heroine believes that with her, David will only waste time with her and asks to take her to the car. However, on the way back, Blanche still kisses the man. The heroine ends up having a pleasant time with the man. Blanche enjoys life with David, however, she feels that it is time to go back. At home, the heroine talks to Stella and lies that she just needed to be alone for a while. Going upstairs, Blanche is confronted by her husband. Gregoire does not believe that the heroine was just at work and then decided to go for a ride and be alone. The man hardly agrees to accept this as the truth and embraces Blanche. However, Gregoire notices that the heroine has only recently washed hair, which means that she could not have been out for a walk, and she lied. The man loses his temper and becomes aggressive. Gregoire smashes everything around and demands that the heroine confess to the committed treason. The man gradually calms down and says that during a family crisis it is completely normal. Gregoire only asks the heroine to admit everything now so that they can move on. Since then, the man began to torment Blanche. During the day, he behaved normally and calmly, but at night, he arranged the heroine's interrogation about treason. One day, Gregoire returns home and finds out what is prepared for dinner. The man does not like the dish and criticizes it along with the children, suggesting to boil macaroni. Blanche throws it away, after which she takes a shower and cries. Gregoire continues his nightly interrogations, which gives the heroine a terrible headache. Once during a lesson, Blanche even loses consciousness. The next night, the heroine cannot stand it and confesses to Gregoire that she cheated on him. However, even here, Blanche conceals the real truth. The heroine lies that she spent the night with a trucker, whose name she does not even know. The interrogation of Gregoire continues. The man believes that Blanche subconsciously wanted to be caught, and that is why she did not warn her family that she would be late at work. Gregoire suspects that the lover is actually very important to the heroine. Blanche can no longer withstand the pressure and finally tells the truth to the man. After that, the heroine recalls Gregoire demanded details. The man forced Blanche to do with him the same thing and exactly repeating everything she did with David. The heroine recalls that she did not give her consent to this. The lawyer, to whom Blanche tells about what happened in her marriage, considers what happened horrible. After what happened in bed, the heroine goes to the bathroom. There, Blanche takes a large number of pills, deciding to take her own life. The heroine tries to stay in the hospital as long as possible, which angers Gregoire. Blanche asks her sister to take her children and gives her notes that convey her experience of relationships. The heroine returns home and tells Gregoire that she is leaving him. The man loses his temper and begins to strangle Blanche. The heroine manages to escape, after which she turns to a lawyer for help. Blanche is ready to sue Gregoire and files for divorce. On the day of the first court hearing, the heroine tries to keep her composure and enters the hall. This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like, write in the comments what you think about this movie, and see you in new videos.